Hello and welcome back again to ABG Investor Days. Our next presentation is going to be with QleanAir. My name is Adrian Glani. I'm an equity research analyst here at ABG within the cap goods sector. And with me today, I have CEO of QleanAir, Kristina Lindstedt, as well as CFO Henrik Resmark. So with that being said, I will leave it up to you, Kristina and Henrik.
Thank you very much and very welcome to this presentation about QleanAir. So next page, please. And next page again, please. And why don't we take next page? There we are. So first, a brief snapshot and description of who we are. And we are a premium provider of solutions for clean indoor air. And we serve more than 3,000 customers globally, and we've been doing that for almost 30 years. And we have an installed base of more than 10,000 units. And for us, that is an important measurement because that indicates our incoming revenue streams in the future and also how much clean air we deliver in the environment. We work with a business model containing mostly long rental contracts of 36 months. And in 75% of the cases, the contracts are extended or renewed. So we have very satisfied customers and we have long-term relationships. We also measure on an ongoing basis how much clean air we deliver. And currently we are at almost 5 billion cubic meters of clean air per month. We are a listed company since December 2019. And we have an asset-light business model where we work with external partners for manufacturing and for service. Next page, please. Then I would like to highlight from the Q3 the highlights in terms of our performance. And we have within QleanAir 3 different product categories, what we call cabin solutions, which is the base where we are coming from, where we protect people from smoking. We have facility solutions, which is our air cleaners for different types of customer segments. And we have our third product category, which is called room solutions, which is about clean rooms. And looking at facility solutions, which is one of our newest product categories, where we are active since 5-6 years approximately, we had a very strong quarter and we delivered growth of 104% compared to the same period last year. And we also had a very strong development of our order intake, which was up with 29%. And we also delivered very, very strong profitability with an EBIT margin of almost 23%. So we have strong profitability. We grow with our air cleaners, which is very much in line with our strategy, which is about growing our newer product categories at a faster pace than our traditional business with our cabin solutions. And we also increased our installed base, and that increased by 17%. And we faced a turbulent quarter with material shortages and increased material prices in many markets, but we managed to still deliver growth and profitability. So I am very satisfied and happy with the performance in the quarter. And I'm also very grateful for the contribution and big work that was done by many team members in the company. Then next page, please. Then looking on a quarter-by-quarter basis at the development of our order intake and our sales, we had, as you can see, a historical beginning of 2020, and that is linked to an implementation of new legislation in Japan which meant that solutions for protecting people from smoking, tobacco smoke, indoors, meant that the companies needed to find new solutions for that, living up to these more stringent requirements, which our solutions do. So we had a record year in terms of order intake and sales early on in 2020. And then we were, as all or many other companies, we were impacted by Corona, and we had a couple of challenging quarters. Now we have, since a number of quarters back, delivered steady order intake and sales, and all the time at strong EBIT margin performance. Next page, please. And looking at the development of the geographical distribution of our business, we have three main regions. One is APAC, where it's mostly Japan. That is our most important single country. And we have Europe, and we have the US. And there we see, as I mentioned, that we had a very, very strong start in Japan last year. Now in 2021, we have had a very strong development on the order intake side in Europe. So we see a sharp increase in the contribution and in the weight from Europe. And then in terms of sales split, we are more equally distributed between Japan and Europe between the 2 years. But a steady development. Next page, please. Then describing and going a little bit more into details about our three product categories. So facility solutions, we are active since about 2015. And this is an area where we have invested a lot in innovation and new products. In 2020, we had a record year. We had a plan since the beginning of introducing new solutions, targeting customers where we already had a strong presence, but where we had understood how to develop further our offering, and that is warehousing, logistics, and production and food. And then with the outburst of Corona, and with the realization and acceptance that high quality HEPA 14 air filter devices can actually make a difference and significantly reduce virus concentration, then there was a sharp increase, and still is, of the awareness among people how important it is with clean air. And we saw a very sharp increase in demand also from other types of customer segments, like the healthcare sector. Next page, please. So going into 2021, we were stronger than ever when it comes to our product portfolio and our offering. And we continue to to develop our business in our traditional customer segments, like production, like warehousing, logistics, where, for example, an important customer of ours since many years is PostNord in the Nordics, and that's a business that we continue to develop to support PostNord in providing healthier working environments and protect their products. And we also continue to develop new business opportunities in our traditional customer segments in food production in Denmark. Some examples of what we did within our core segments in this quarter. Next page, please. And then we also developed these newer types of customer segments. We started in 2020 to develop a tight cooperation with Karolinska, where we started with our then existing products equipped with HEPA 14 filters, allowing us to protect the employees at Karolinska from virus through our solutions. And then we developed a tight cooperation with the input from Karolinska in our innovation process, which led to a new product launch in the very beginning of 2021, which has been one of our most selling products in 2021. And we continue to develop the hospital segment. Then we continue to develop also a new customer segment for us in air cleaners, which is the office segment, because of this importance to protect people in the office environment. And that's a customer segment where we already have a significant presence in Japan with our cabin solutions from before. So there we extended our offering, solved more problems for these customers, customers and provide them with air cleaners as well. And the same thing in Germany. So we are developing new customer opportunities here. Then also in the public sectors, in schools, there's been a huge increase in demand in Germany because of submissions from the government to invest in air cleaners in order to protect staff and pupils. And we have been one of the companies who have played an important role in protecting people in that environment. So also a new customer segment for us. Next page, please. And looking at the facility solutions as such, we then continue to increase our sales. We are at the moment running on a 12-month rolling basis of 77 million SEK in the year, which is a very big increase then compared to where we ended 2020. And we continue in order to grow this business to increase our penetration and presence in our traditional core segments, industry, food, logistics, while penetrating also the newer customer segments like offices, healthcare, and schools. And we have great opportunities to continue to grow geographically. In Europe, we have a significant presence in Sweden and Germany with great opportunities to grow there, but also in other markets in Europe, as well as in Japan. So this is one of our important growth areas. Next page, please. Then we have our cabin solutions, which is the history where the company is coming from, where we protect people then from tobacco smoke. Our two main markets is Japan and Europe. Europe is more mature. We are present in customer segments such as industry in the Detta area, institutions in Sweden, prisons in Finland. So we see a mature market. We don't see any sharp increases or sharp decreases, but a fairly stable market with long-term relationships and contracts. In Japan, we see a continued growth opportunity in the cabin solutions market. During 2020 and 2021, or the second half of 2020 and 2021, there's been an impact from Corona because there's been a lower presence in the office. We see when in a next step things will improve, we believe that we will see a sharper increase again in the Japanese market when it comes to cabin solutions. Next page, please. And bearing this in mind that there's been a lower presence than normal in the office landscape, we are happy to see that we continue to deliver stable sales overall on our cabin solutions side. And we see, as mentioned, opportunities for further growth in Japan, both geographically, but also when it comes to our offering and our partnerships. And we also see opportunities within the European context to build on local success stories in more markets. Next page, please. And then we have our third product categories, which is our clean rooms that we call room solutions, where our main market has been the US, where we address pharmacies, independent pharmacies and pharmacies within hospitals, and Sweden, where we address the medtech and life science sectors. Next page, please. And then we had a more challenging quarter. In the US, we've seen a sharper impact from the Corona situation in terms of being able to actively engage with customers, coming to closure in pending negotiations. So we see an opportunity and a need going forward that the good activity level we have in the market also translates into order intake and sales. We have an install base of about 70 clean rooms. We have proven that there is a demand in the marketplace. We do believe in that also going forward, but short term we have faced challenges linked to the pandemic situation. On the other hand, in the Nordics, we've had very strong momentum with record order intake in 2021. So we see great opportunities for further growth also in this part of the world. Next page, please. And another important measure for us is that we measure on an ongoing basis the amount of clean air that we deliver. And in order to make that billion cubic meter figure a little bit more visual, we translate that number into the number of Avicii arenas that we clean per hour. And this is then also a measurement that we see increasing continuously and reach a level of 11.22 Avicii arenas at the end of the quarter of Q3. So important progress for us to see that we constantly deliver more clean air. Next page, please. And next page, please, again. And then I hand over to Henrik.
Thank you. Yes, we continue to see a growth in facility solutions in Europe in the third quarter versus third quarter last year. We continue to see a clear traction for facility solutions in primarily Germany. And we see a high degree of renewal contracts in Japan within cabin solutions, as we have pointed out earlier. As we grow the installed base in Japan, the base for future renewal contract is growing. Order intake and sales are below expectations in the US, continued long sales process to win customer contracts. QleanAir Group order intake is up by 29% versus third quarter last year. Moving into page 19, please. QleanAir business model continues to deliver strong cash flow and margins. We have an efficient business model. Our business model is a combination of recurring revenues and sale to finance companies and product sale. We continue to see stable cash flow. The margins in the third quarter are strong, and the strong margin is a consequence of the renewal rate, the business model, and continuous cost control. Strong margins while we continue to invest in R&D, product portfolio, marketing, and sales. This to deliver long-term growth. Moving into page 20, please. We continue to grow the installed base quarter by quarter, plus 17% last 12 months. This is, of course, one focus area for us. Increased installed base will deliver growth in revenues long term. We see a growth in facility solutions in Europe, while cabin solutions in Europe is a more mature market for us, and the average prices per FS unit is lower than for a cabin solution unit. Next page, please.
We have three midterm financial goals, including dividend policy, and that is that we strive for an organic sales growth of 10% on average per year over time, and to deliver profitability level of 15 to 20% of EBIT and pay out a dividend of 30 to 50% of our net profit. Next page, please. Next, yes, please. Back one page, please. Yes. So to summarize the key activities that we are focusing on in order to drive top line growth is to continue to grow our facility solutions business and really leverage the new products that we have taken to the market and scale the opportunities that we have with these new products and cross-sell to customers where we are already present from historical customer relationships and develop our new customer segments and new geographical markets. We are also adding sales force in order to be able to penetrate our markets in a stronger way. We also focusing on coming to closure in discussions in our cleanroom business and really have a strong sales focus, and also to grow our cabin solutions portfolio in Japan while continuing to build and invest in our brand and in innovation. Next page, please. Thank you very much. That sums up our presentation about QleanAir, and we're very happy to take questions.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Kristina and Henrik. I will go ahead immediately with a few questions. So first of all, one thing I found interesting is you mentioned that you saw an increased demand from COVID-19 due to people becoming more aware of the importance of clean air. Do you think that this is a structural change in the market that will remain for a few years at least, or or was this more of a spike in demand?
I absolutely believe, or we believe at the company, that this is a structural change that is here to stay. It took a while after the pandemic started until it was widely promoted that this contamination spreads with droplets in the air, and that HEPA filtration of the air through advanced air cleaning solutions can have a positive impact in spreading virus in general, and while also including the coronavirus. That has increased the awareness about the quality of air in general, which opens up a demand for that particular need, but also for other needs, where we have a history and a past of being present in industrial sector, cleaning other particles, gases, mold, and we see that there is an increase in awareness also about the need to clean the air from other contaminants.
Okay.
And we are a business-to-business company, I can add also. So we are not into consumer products or delivering solutions to consumer homes.
Okay, and this trend of increased awareness, has it led to sort of stricter regulations being discussed as well?
Yes, I mean, for example, the development we've seen in Germany, where there's been communicated that as many classrooms in schools as possible should be equipped with air cleaners. We can say that is a change in how you see that the classroom should be equipped in order to protect staff and pupils. And that is something that has increased the market tremendously in that particular market. Yes, we see a change in the marketplace taking place there.
Okay, and also another thing you mentioned was in your growth strategy, your ambition to cross-sell products to existing customers. Is it possible for you to say how much of your sales currently are to existing customers and to new customers?
Yeah, we can say, I mean, the new products, for instance, that we launch, we sell them both then to existing customers where we are already established, and we also sell them to new customers. We don't specifically disclose an ongoing figure of how much is business with existing customers versus new. But for sure, in 2021 and also 2020, with everything happening with the pandemic, that has given a boost in the share of new customers, that we can say, definitely.
Okay. Another thing, you have a fairly wide geographical footprint. Is there any sort of geography where you have identified particularly exciting growth opportunities?
We already have a very strong base in Japan in our traditional business with cabin solutions. So we have a very strong base to build from, and we have a strong own sales team. So for us, that is a growth opportunity that is strong and easy to reach. And also in Europe, we have a presence in many markets, but we have significant opportunities for growth. So I would say at the core is to grow where we're already established, and then identify a couple of prioritized new geographies.
Okay. And what do you look at when considering if you should enter a new geography or not? What are the criteria you look at?
We need to understand that there is a certain maturity of the market, that there is a certain awareness of the need to protect people and to protect people from contaminants. And we've seen that differs between cultures and between countries. But we need to see that there is a certain awareness. Then we can build a market from a fairly early stage, or we can go in and compete in a more mature market. But there needs to be a certain awareness.
Okay. I think I have time for one more question before we have to round off. So for a larger, say, industrial facility, how large is the investment if they want to implement your filtration products?
That is a good thing about our business model also, that we offer different types of contracts. So you can either, as a customer, you can buy our solutions and in parallel buy a service contract, or you can rent for different lengths of contract for 36 months or 60 months or even shorter. So it depends a little bit on what type of solution and offering works best for you.
Okay. Well, with that being said, Kristina and Henrik, I'd like to thank you again for your presentation and also for answering all of my questions. I'd just leave it up to you for some final remarks if you'd like to say anything before we wrap up.
Yeah, thank you very much. We very much enjoyed meeting up with you here, and we are very happy to continue the discussion in separate meetings and talk much more about our solutions and advantages. So thank you very much.